The secret of letting go is knowing that life will give you something better, and whatever it asks you to give up.
There's nothing out there for me.
And that's the problem. You hung up your cape and your cowl, but you didn't move on. You never went to find a life, to find someone.
Alfred, I did find someone.
I know, and you lost them, but that's all part of living, sir. But you're not living, you're just waiting, hoping for things to go bad again.
You gotta move on. You gotta move on.
Stop trying to control everything and just let go. Let go!
See, the point is, you don't know how much future you've got. What's gone is gone. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Some of you have had divorces. Some of you have probably had bankruptcies. Some of you have had terrible things happen in the past. But what's gone is gone. It's in the past. And to spend your time focusing on the past is to spend the only thing that you've got, and that's what's right here, right now, because the sand never stops running. This is all we've got. And to spend your time now thinking of what happened there is making absolute certain that the future is going to be the same as the past.
Those who died yesterday had plans for this morning, and those who died this morning had plans for tonight. Don't take life for granted. In the blink of an eye, everything can change. So forgive often and love with all your heart. You'll never know if you'll have the chance to do it again.
I suppose in the end, the whole of life becomes an act of letting go. But what always hurts the most is not taking a moment to say goodbye.
Most of the time, it's not supposed to be easy to let go of things you love or that you wanted. But the only things you lose are what was built for a person you no longer are.
For what it's worth, it's never too late, or in my case,
too early, to be whoever you want to be. You can change or stay the same. There are no rules to this thing.
Whatever happens, happens. Stop obsessing over things that you can't control. Life will not go the way you planned. And that's okay. Just learn to accept things and trust in timing. And don't forget, everything happens for a reason. Stay positive. Make the best out of what life threw at you. And when you're frustrated about that things didn't go the way you planned, remember, everything will work out in the end.
In order for something new to come, something old must go. Let go of what you know until now. You must spill the old tea and pour in new one. Then things look different.
Forgive yourself, all right? The past is the past, and you've got to leave the past in the past. And until you can walk away from the past, you cannot have a future. You cannot live in the past and the future at the same time. Now, you've got to bury the past. The past has to die and it has to be buried. But once it's dead and buried, you have to move on. And there's nothing in this life that will destroy you faster than you being unable to forgive yourself for your wrongdoings.
That's the kind of power that doesn't need to prove itself. The more you trust, the more power you actually have. Not over others, but with life. And so strangely, when you let go, you don't lose anything. You gain alignment. You flow with something much larger, something that's been holding you the entire time. Letting go isn't weakness. It's intelligence.
It's hard to let go, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Bill.
And that's life. What can I tell you?
The letting go, the most important step in letting go of feelings is to cut the link between your thinking and what you're feeling. How do you do that? You do it by being aware of your thinking and realizing that that thinking is pain. It feeds the old feeling, and the narrative, whatever it is a painful narrative, and you realize that you've been keeping it alive for some years. There's enough awareness, you realize that it has no purpose except to make you unhappy and to perpetuate that feeling.
When people hear detach from the outcome, they think it means stop caring, but it's not about apathy, it's about authority, because true detachment says, I trust what I've aligned with, and I don't need to control the when or the how. See, it's not passive, it's magnetic, because when you're attached, you're signaling lack, you're gripping, you're waiting, you're doubting. But when you detach, you relax into the frequency of already having it. It's no longer, I hope this comes. It's, I'm living as if it already has. And that's when the quantum field rearranges to match your inner state of being. Not because you forced it, but because you stopped resisting it. Detachment is presence, and presence is power.
If you're not getting past this today, this week, this month, this year, all of a sudden a decade goes by and you're still hung up and you can't get rid of that thing, if it's holding you back from going where you want to go, maybe you should just deny the thing ever happened. Kick it in the head. Kick it off the curb. I'm done with you. I'm sick of you. I'm tired of hanging out with you. I'm tired of that thing, whatever it is, holding me back from going where I want to go.
You don't need to control everything in your life. Most of it was never in your control to begin with. The harder you try to force outcomes, the more frustrated you'll feel. Focus on what you can influence today. Your words, your choices, your effort. That's where your power actually lives. Your mind will always try to prepare you for every possible outcome. It imagines disasters that never happen and replace moments that no longer exist. Overthinking doesn't protect you. It only drains you. Pay attention to what's in front of you. That's where life is actually happening.
For many times I was laughed at and not believed in, but you know what? Nothing external can defeat the internal. The only thing that can take someone down or break you down is internal. Nothing external is strong enough. It's just about making sure your internal dialogue and your internal belief in yourself is strong enough that it can withstand the external. Yes. The external is there. Yes. You've got to accept it. You've got to embrace it. You've got to understand it and be aware of it. But don't let it seep into your internal dialogue.
Let's say you're miserable and unhappy. Here's a cure. Find what's valuable and let it go. Well, maybe it's a relationship that you have, and the relationship is pathological, but you're locked into it, you value it, and you're suffering terribly because of it. Well, what do? Maybe you let it go. It's a sacrifice. And the idea is that, well, that'll clear the future for you. Well, very frequently when people are suffering, the reason that you're suffering is because you just won't let go of the thing that's biting you. And you think, well, I can't let go of, and I've had clients like this. I can't stop communicating with my mother, who phones me 3 times a day, every day of my life, and never says anything that isn't unbelievably critical and demeaning. That's not such a good idea. The funny thing too, often when people let something like that go, it goes away, sorts itself out, and then comes back. So they don't even end up losing it.
Today I'm going to teach you a skill that you should have been taught when you were a child, but probably weren't: how to let go. You want that person to change. You want the past to have gone differently. You want the future to go your way. It is completely normal to want these things, but holding on to them too tightly can end up leading to a lot of suffering. One of the hardest things about being human is, at the end of the day, we really don't have that much control over what happens to us. And if you aren't given the tools to handle this reality, it can be incredibly hard on your psychological well-being, because we human beings absolutely love being in control, and we absolutely hate not having control. So we cling on to things because we think it'll give us the control that we're looking for, but at the end of the day, it just leads to more pain. And how heavy is this burden that you put upon yourself? You're trying to control the uncontrollable. You can't change that person. You can't rewrite the past. You can't control what happens in the future. So if you're ready to let go of something that you've been clinging on to, I'm going to give you a tool that will help you with that. I call it the 4 C's. Clinging. Name what you're holding on to. You can usually figure it out by asking yourself, what am I trying to control in this moment? Compassion. Acknowledge Acknowledge the pain that you're in, not only the pain of not getting what you want, but the pain of holding on to it too. Give yourself some love by saying something like, it's okay if you want this, and it's okay if you feel sad that you're not getting it. Now that you've named it, you have the opportunity to take control and decide if you're ready to let go of this. Ask yourself, is holding on to this serving me, or would it be better for me if I let go? Finally, courage. If your answer is let go, then take one brave step towards releasing it. You could say an affirmation to yourself, like, I'm releasing what I've been holding on to. You could set an intention, today I will let go of this. You could take an action, like calling a friend, going for a walk, writing in a journal, or it could be an inaction, refusing to engage with it further, or simply accepting whatever is happening without trying to change it. Letting go is not something that you usually do once, you do it over and over again, but every time that you do, you find a little bit more freedom. It's going to help you to be happier because you're learning to accept reality as it is and freeing up your energy so that you can focus on the things that actually are in your control, where you do have the power to make change happen.
Now, it's hard when those we love and those around us cannot forgive us for our wrongdoings. That's hard enough. But when you cannot forgive yourself, that's not survivable. And you don't need to make it right to everybody. You didn't harm everybody. But those you need to make it right to, you've done that, and you've left it behind. Now forgive yourself. Today's a new day. Today's a new you. And so do not destroy yourself over a man that no longer exists.
The greatest lesson I've learned in life is that letting go of something or someone is the truest form of love. There's a saying that people often use, and it goes like this: if you love someone or something, let it go. And if it was truly meant to be, they will come back to you.
No matter who, no matter how holy sometimes I look, I have my dark moments of the past. And I made mistakes in the past. You need to clean that.
Yeah.
You need to clean your past.
Yeah.
Because if there's any type of debris, any type of weight still lingering inside of our own life, you can't move on. So ultimately, the way to self-mastery, the self-assessment, the self-observation, with what aim? To clean yourself from the roles that you started creating in this lifetime. To clean yourself from the identity you started investing so much effort and energy in order to maintain it. And all of this taken together, meaning in a way also, in the moment you understand what is your source and what is your essence, the view on this world becomes different.
You can invent yourself at every moment as a new person, yes?
Yes.
And as you do so, the things that you're calling past memories actually have no longer any relevance for you, because you're not that person anymore. Literally. They literally have nothing to do with you anymore, if you choose to define yourself that way.
Today, I stand before you to explore a concept that holds immense power, yet often eludes our grasp. The art of letting go.
Because you see, to be detached from the world does not mean to be non-participative. You can have a sexual life very rich and very full, and yet all the time be detached. On the one hand, there is a way of being so anxious about physical pleasure, so afraid that you won't make it, that you grab it too hard. But on the other hand, pleasure in its fullness cannot be experienced when one is grasping it.
We come with nothing. We go with nothing. This universe is gonna make sure that you're gonna go with nothing. Which means, at some point before it's time for you to go, you will be faced with the fact of learning the necessity of letting go of what you have attained in this lifetime. And if you have not learned and have not understood that this is gonna come, then I think it's a very, very hard awakening. It's a very painful awakening. To realize, to have this realization that you have spent 70 years, 80 years following your goal, and now there is no other choice. You have to let go.
And perhaps the ultimate goal in life is not to arrive, but to wander, not to own everything, but to belong somewhere, not to be remembered forever, but to live so fully that forgetting becomes impossible. Because maybe the point was never permanence, but presence, to be here, now, with all that we are.
I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for you to detach from the outcome. I need you to do things not for the result it's going to give you, but strictly for the art of doing it. If you want to go for a job, if you want to go for a relationship, if you want to practice a skill, there needs to be something in you that has the confidence to understand that you're going to be okay no matter what happens. There's no such thing as a good outcome or a bad outcome. The outcome in and of itself is neutral. The world is neutral. The universe is neutral. You are going to pivot around the outcome and around the decision that gets made. It doesn't really matter what decision you make. You will figure out a way, just like you always have, to continue proceeding with your life regardless of what happens. So you might as well forego the result of whatever you're pursuing and love it for the process. I did a coaching call today with a client, and he specifically mentioned that he was applying for jobs for 3 months, and not getting a job really truly made him feel depressed. And the one job that he felt like was not only out of his league, but he didn't even try that hard in curating his resume for that job, that's the job he got. Why? Because when he got into those interviews, he felt like he could be himself because there was no pressure, because he didn't even believe he had a chance. That level of detachment is what you need to practice in everything you embark on. Because once you tell the world, this thing, if it truly belonged to me, would come to me regardless, then it can feel your ease. It can feel your comfort. And smooth things get done quickly. And the only way that you can feel smooth in your pursuit of greatness is to either pretend like you already have it, or know deep down that whether it comes to you in this form or not, you're going to be okay.
The fastest way to take control of your life is to stop controlling everyone around you. You have no idea how much time and energy and attention you are wasting trying to control other people. You have no idea how much energy you are burning through thinking about, worrying about, obsessing about what other people are doing, what they're not doing, what they're feeling, all of which you have zero control over.
Man, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's gonna happen how it's gonna happen. You worrying about it ain't gonna change it, right? It's just gonna make you lose sleep about it, get stressed out about it. But you worrying about it ain't gonna change the situation, because you just thinking about it, right? You can't change it. If it's gonna happen and manifest, it's gonna happen and manifest. We cross the bridge when it gets there. I read a quote once that said, the fear of something happening oftentimes is more powerful than it even happening.
Is that if the person can get beyond the emotion, they'll free themselves from the past. And what we discovered is that if you teach a person to give up the fear, the bitterness, the resentment, the frustration, the impatience, the judgment, is to stop feeling that emotion. I know there's a reason why. I'm sure everybody's got a story, right? So, but there's nothing that's going to change that story until you change, right?
The more you try to control something, the more out of control you feel. It's true. And the only way to feel in control in life is to focus on where your time and energy is going, to focus on you. I mean, this morning, the folks that pick up the garbage, they didn't come to our house, right? Let them. I mean, I don't need to take it personally, like they broke up with me or ghosted me or, they're so disrespectful. Let them forget to pick up garbage at our house. And now, this is where the magic comes in. Now that I'm not taking it personally, I'm not offended, I can handle it effectively, right? I'm not going to handle it emotionally, I'm going to handle it effectively.
When you don't expect anything to happen, that's when the unexpected happens. We discovered in our functional MRIs that when the person has the default mode network shut off, which means they're not trying to predict the future, They're not trying to anticipate anything. They're completely in the present moment. The correlation between the decrease in modulation, the decrease in compartmentalization, the more order in the brain, is directly correlated with a mystical experience. And the person who's having that mystical experience, their brain looks like they're on psilocybin. Now, they can't make their brain do that. Somehow, it's happening to them.
You're gonna lose your mother. You're gonna lose your father. You're gonna lose animals and humans that you love. It's going to happen. You're gonna lose money, and at the same time, people are also gonna hurt you even though you don't even know what you did wrong. Things like this are going to happen in this lifetime. If we don't create the better times, nothing's gonna happen.
Next time a problem comes up or a challenge comes up, try playing this game. And this game is releasing the need for control. And we find that very hard. We find that very hard because there's no certainty ahead when we release the need for control, especially when we're holding on so tight. So this is the game. When a thought comes up, or a situation comes up, or a challenge comes up, and you do not have the answer to how that will be resolved, try doing this. Just go, I surrender. I surrender to this. I surrender to this situation. Now, you can surrender to God, you can surrender to life, you can surrender to the universe, doesn't matter. But just go, I surrender. But what you're saying is really to your mind is, I surrender the need to control this outcome. And then what you're doing is actually letting go and releasing resistance, which brings in more green lights to your day.
If you want to become a new version of yourself, you have to let the old one go. You cannot continue to do the same things that the old version of you did and expect a different result. You have to be willing to completely let go of all of the things that made the old version of you, you. The lifestyle, the habits, the actions, the thought patterns, the friends. If those things are standing in the way of change, they don't deserve to be there. You can't still kind of want to be the old version of you. If the person that you're trying to become wouldn't be doing the thing that you're doing, you should stop doing that thing. Otherwise, you're never going to become that person. If you continue to live your life attached to the person that you've always been, you will never become the person that you could be.
Every moment of your life, little things that create little irritations.
Yes.
The driver's driving 15 miles an hour below the speed limit in front of you and you're in a rush. It rains when you have to get out and deliver something. Somebody doesn't say hello. Hey, Sally, how you doing? She doesn't turn around. Oh my God. You will watch your mind cause serious problems. Bothering myself about the driver in front of me. It's not bothering them. I guarantee you, they're not hearing a word you're saying. Those are 100% cause zero benefit. It's
all pain.
So you don't do it. So you learn, and there are lots of techniques. My ultimate teaching, and it's yours also in a sense, is you relax. You relax. You just sit there and say, I can relax and breathe. It's okay that this is happening. And then what you're doing is allowing the energy to release. The whole idea is you don't engage with it. You sit behind it and you allow it to release.
Let them go.
Let me say it louder for the people in the back. Let them go. This is a time in your life that you can no longer continue to grieve about who walked away, who abandoned you, who forsook you, who left you, who walked away. You've got to stand up and recognize that God doesn't need anything that you lost to bless you. God will always use what you've got left.
Let's talk about closure, because as long as your hand is still on the doorknob, you have not fully closed the door. To truly close this chapter, you have to let go. It means that you have got to stop holding on to whatever.
And not every silence is meant for you to break. When the frequency fades, don't chase the static. Change the station. Listen, when someone starts mishandling your worth, don't hand them more time hoping that they will figure it out. You're not a puzzle to be solved. You're a mirror. Either they will reflect respect or they will distort it. And when the distortion becomes the norm, walk.
Sometimes it's just better to let things be. Let people go.
Don't fight for closure. Don't ask for explanations. Don't chase answers. And don't expect people to understand where you're coming from. Life has taught me that peace isn't found in getting all the answers, but it's found in letting things go so you can move forward without dragging the past behind you.
Time doesn't heal everything. Healing happens when you stop waiting to feel nothing and start learning to live with what still hurts. Time doesn't erase the memories. It just teaches you how to carry them differently. Time doesn't make the pain vanish. It just helps you stop letting it control your day. And time doesn't fix the past. It helps you stop trying to relive it. Time doesn't bring closure alone. It gives you space to create your own. Time doesn't make you forget them. It helps you remember yourself. Time doesn't remove the ache. It reminds you that pain and progress can coexist.